Okay, there is a small correction which I think people should notice that when I introduce the group capital G, it's consisting of the GL for GL2 plus Q. There is a small power instead of minus 1 by 2. Yeah, this is the one. So this place, when you talk about the GL2 plus Q, this phi is a holomorphic function. Phi square is P into CZ plus D. So these two powers will be opposite signs. So if CZ plus D is positive, then it is negative. The denominator determinant alpha power half. So that is, that's what I put it in red. I hope that red is visible. Okay. Now we'll see whether I can. On Wednesday, we will see more about something about cusp. He asked that I those things, and maybe if I can tell something about Hickey operators, I will just describe on Wednesday. But we will just see what is the result, and in a brief, and then we will go to how the Shimura made a correspondence using this input. Okay, so Hickey operators. The operators are defined in the same way. Supposing if you assume n is n naught n1 square, that is where n naught is square free, then one can define the operator as usual, and it turns out that f automorphic with respect to gamma 0 n 8k plus half 4 divides n, and then assuming that the n comma capital N is 1, then if I apply the usual operator in the sense, it is 0. Therefore, these operators are not trivial only when the index is not of this form, therefore it should be a perfect square. So assume that n is a perfect square, and then if you consider the Hickey algebra that Tn square, so it is generated by Tp square, P is a prime, and P not divided 2n because of the n comma n1. So if P is a prime, I need not say 2n here because it is already n is even in this case 4 divides n, so P not dividing n. If P not dividing n, then the operator Tp square is given by, in terms of the GL2 plus matrices, Tp square is, I think I use T bracket P square anyway. Don't bother about this. For me, this is convenient to write Tp square is P power k, some factor, normalizing factor one has to put, and there will be these three set of representatives. One is 0 to P square minus 1. I have 1 j 0 P square. Then if you follow the same rule, the automorphic factor here it is P power half plus phi of P summation j equal to 1 to P minus 1. We have P minus j 0 P. Again, if we follow that one, but it have to take some fourth root of unity is needed here, j by P. And there is a third factor, which is chi of P square summation, not there is. I have P square 0, 0, 1, P power minus half. So if you take any function and then apply this operator, and then you can use the action of GL2 plus Q, whatever. Yes. Then, so note that the epsilon P is as usual, epsilon P is 1 or I, according as P is 1 or 3 modulo 4. So that is exactly the minus 4 by p power half. So for p dividing n, I can take the same operator. Since when p dividing n, chi is a character modulo n, these two factors go away. So for p dividing capital N, pp square is denoted by the u operator, and it is given by, just to distinguish between the primes dividing the level and not dividing the level. So up square is the same one without the two factors, p power k minus 3 by 2 summation j equal to 0 to p square minus 1 j 0 p square p power half. And also one can have this dividing primes. No, one can also consider the non-square things. So only for p not dividing n, the Hecke operators vanish. But when if p dividing n, then this up is given by p power k by 2 minus 3 by 4 summation j equal to 0 to p minus 1. This is the usual Hecke operator, p power 1 by 4. And then one can show that fact is that up descends mk. I'm writing sk, but it is also true for mk. Mk plus of n chi to mk plus of n chi into chi p. As usual, I told you the chi p is nothing but this p by dot character. It is an even character, so note that. So if I take the dot by p character, the Legendre symbol, that is can be an odd character when p is 3 mod 4, but this is always an even character. Therefore, when I take chi is an even character. Therefore, this is an even character. So this, it makes sense. Okay. Now the Fourier expansion proposition. If f of z is given by the Fourier expansion a f of n e power n 0 to infinity, q is e power 2 pi I z. It's a function in mk plus of n chi. Then f bar tp square of z has the Fourier expansion bn q power n, where bn is given by af of np square plus p power k minus 1 chi of p minus 4 by p power half k n by p af of n plus p power 2k minus 1 chi square of p af of n by p square. There are three terms corresponding to the three sets of matrices. There is a 3, and then for each one can compute the Fourier expansion, and it turns out that one is the af of np square, and the middle one is this factor, and the final one is af of n by p square. So I can combine these two in a single notation, and then I can write it as af of np square plus p power k minus 1 chi p minus 1 power k n by p af of n plus p power 2k minus 1 chi of p square, chi p square, p both are same. Thus I am writing, it should be chi of p square, but anyway I am writing chi square of p n by p square. Also, if p dividing n, f bar up is of z is summation af of np q power n. So that usual up expansion, and the f bar up square of z is summation af of np square q power n. So these are the Fourier expansions. Also, if p not dividing n, then tp square is a Hermitian operator with respect to the Petersen scalar product, which I defined earlier. So they also form a commuting family of operators. This implies sk plus half n chi has a basis of eigenforms with respect to all tp square p not dividing n. Okay, so if I take any level n, I think we cannot have a basis with respect to all Hecke operators, but however, when p not dividing n, I can always find a basis. So with this background, now Shimura assume that now for the moment that the space has a basis with respect to all Hecke operators. If F is a Hecke eigenform, then how to define the correspondence? Just briefly we'll see. Just using the correspondence, using the Hecke relation and considering a special Dirichlet series, one can get this one, but it is a tedious one. But we'll just to briefly indicate how the method goes. T greater than or equal to 1 square free integer. We fix a t and p is a prime, and then take f to be a modular form. And belonging to mk plus half n chi, such that f bar tp square is lambda p af of p for all p not dividing n, and assume that f bar up square is lambda p, again mistake, f is also f for all p dividing f. So assuming these two, and then assume that so then in fact I think he assumes either p divides n or p square not dividing this. So he assumed that either p divides n or p square not dividing t. So then, so this relation, Hecke eigen relation, can be given in terms of two equations. One is that lambda f, lambda p. You just compare the tth Fourier coefficient here. This is my f bar tp square equal to the bnth coefficient. Putting n equal to t, I have lambda f of af of t. So that's what he is writing. So if lambda p af of t equal to, I have to substitute n equal to t on the right hand side and write. So since t is a square free integer, this part will not be there because t is square free, p square cannot divide that. Therefore, this factor will not be there. Only the first two things will be there. So therefore, lambda p af of t is af of tp square plus chi of t power k minus 1 minus 1 power k t by p af of t. The third part is 0, and then second is whenever I substitute n equal to p power 2m into t. So if n is a multiple of p, this factor goes away because of the character appearing there. Only the first and last factor will be there because of the n. So when n is a multiple of p, not because of character, because n is a multiple of p, this n by p symbol becomes 0. So replacing n by p power 2m into t, we get another relation, lambda p af of p power 2m t. So here I have to put n equal to t and the n equal to p power 2m t. Second equation, this is af of n p square, therefore this p power 2m plus 2 p, this part is 0 plus chi of p square p power 2k minus 1 af of p power 2m minus 2 t. So assume that m is greater than 0. So we have these two relations. So there now consider this. This is the two relations assuming that f is an eigenfunction with respect to tp square. Now consider the following Dirichlet series. T is given to you. Consider the following Dirichlet series. Given a function f, af of t n square n power minus s. Unlike in the case of integral weight, where you take the nth coefficient and form the Dirichlet series, here I have to take some square free, whatever given square free t n square times n power minus s. So we'll just write down two equations. Again, they are special case of this 1 and 2, whatever this is special case of the following. So we have lambda p af of t n square. So since I put n equal to t, I can put n equal to t n square, where t is a square free. So I have af of t n square p square plus chi of t power k minus 1 minus 1 4k t by p into af of t n square. So I put n equal to t there, because otherwise minus 1 4 k n. When I put t n square, because of this p square n square, sorry, something is wrong. When I put n square, p not dividing n, so n square by p is 1. Therefore, this factor remains the same, and I have this. The second one is lambda p af of p power 2m n square t. The only difference is that instead of t, I put t n square in the previous one. When I put n equal to 1, these two will become same. So of p power 2m plus 2 n square t plus chi of p square p power 2k minus 1 af of p power 2m minus 2 n square t. Okay. Now this is the two equations we are going to use this two things, which assuming the Hecke eigenform, I am getting these two equations. So for an indeterminate x, so let hn of x you equal to summation af of p into p power 2m n square x power m. So m equal to 0 to infinity. So consider this hn of x using the Fourier coefficients. So what I do, I want to using this, I want to get a relation of hnx. Okay. So multiply the first term by x, the second term by x power m plus 1, and add and sum over all integers m. Okay. So x into star plus x power m plus 1 into double star and sum over m. That's what we do. So consider the left hand side. So left hand side becomes sum greater than 0. So we have x times lambda p af of t n square plus x power m plus 1 summation m equal to 1 to infinity lambda p af of p power 2m n square t. So using the definition of hn of x, this is nothing but if I take lambda p common outside, x also I take it out, then becomes hn of x. You can just verify this. So when I multiply by this x and x power m plus 1, add and then sum over all m, what you exactly get is lambda px times hn of x. That is on the left hand side. For the right hand side, we get the following. So summing the right hand side, we have x into af of p square n square plus summation m equal to 1 to infinity x power m plus 1 af of p power 2m plus 2 n square t, which is equal to, so when I add these two things, I get hn of x will be there, but I have to subtract af of t n square. This will be extra. Okay, so hnx contains this one, but this will have all the powers f power x power 0 is missing, therefore that is. When I put x equal to m equal to 0 here, I get af of t n square. So that I have to subtract. So right hand side sum is become hn of x minus af of t square, and left hand side becomes lambda px hn x. Okay. What did I do? Yeah, I'm adding not only right hand side. Right hand side first term only I have taken. So I remember this. This and this I added. I have to add the second one also. When I add the second one, pi p square f p square p power 2k minus 1, I am having this. The middle one I have as it is, af of tn square is there, therefore I don't disturb that. Okay, so that x times will be there. So chi of p square p power 2k minus 1. So I am just looking at the right hand side, this part I am taking. Chi of p square, this one I am summing by multiplying by x power pm plus m plus 1. Summation m greater than or equal to 1, x power m plus 1, af of p power 2m plus 2 n square p. This is nothing but chi of p square p power 2k minus 1. If I take x square out, then I get a hn of x. Therefore, combining all these things, therefore thus we have lambda p x times hn of x equal to, that is on the left hand side. So the first one gives you hn of x minus af of tn square plus the first term multiplied by x will come. So that is chi of p power k minus 1 minus 1 power k t by p into x times af of tn square, and the lastly we have chi of p square p power 2k minus 1 x square hn of x. So we have a relation connecting hn x and af of tn square. So now we can solve for hn x from this. This implies we have, you put all these factors, this one to the right hand side, hn x is already there, these two to the left hand side, and simplify. What we get is, I have 1 minus lambda px plus chi of p square p power 2k minus 1 x square. So this is what I have multiplying hn of x, and this will come to the left hand side. So that is equal to af of tn square. When I take this common outside, 1 minus chi of p power k minus 1 minus 1 power k t by p into x will be there. Okay, so this is just by using the relation of the Fourier coefficients of the Hecke eigen form, assuming that f is an eigen form, using the Fourier expansion, by defining hn x like this, we get hn x in terms of the eigenvalues and the Fourier coefficients of f. Therefore, now note that the Dirichlet series which we consider is af of tn square n power minus s. So this is nothing but, when you look at the definition of hn, what I do that I take a prime not dividing n, so you write n as p power something into n, where n is relatively prime to p and the powers will vary overall. So that's what n can be written as p power 2m into n square, where p not dividing n, and then I sum overall m equal to 0 to infinity. So in this way, what I get, summation n comma p, I am removing one by one factor from that, hn of p power minus s n power minus s. So you substitute, that means for each one I decompose n into product of primes, and then if I take one prime, I get one factor hn of p power minus s. Okay, so therefore what I get finally, this implies summation n greater than or equal to 1 af of tn square n power minus s is, when I substitute hn of p power minus s, hn x is already there. You substitute this equation in this one, what we get af of tn square is already there. So this factor comes out. All others are independent of n. I have n comma p equal to 1, af of tn square n power minus s comes out, and then the remaining is that 1 minus lambda p This will be inverse of that. So 1 minus into 1 minus chi of p, p power k minus 1 minus 1 power kt by p, n power minus s. No, this is x is there, x equal to p power minus s. You substitute x equal to p power minus s in that. This factor there, then this goes to the right hand side is the inverse into 1 minus lambda p, p power minus s plus chi of t square, p power 2k minus 1 minus 2s, because x square is p power minus 2s, so that inverse. Therefore, one p factor I have taken out, and then this evaluated hn of p power minus s in this one, and now I can remove another prime there. So inductively, if I take the factors of p from n, then the right hand side becomes the product. Okay, so therefore this is equal to ultimately. Finally, when I take out all the prime factors, the remaining one will be AF of t. So AF of t will remain into product of all primes p, 1 minus chi of p, p power k minus 1 minus 1 power kt by p, p power minus s, divided by this I put in the denominator 1 minus lambda p, p power minus s plus chi of p square, p power 2k minus 1 minus 2s. Okay, so by just using the Hecke operator, that relation, we could get this particular Dirichlet series in terms of some kind of Euler product. So only thing is that the denominator is the usual looking like some Euler product. The numerator has to be dealt with on the, this is like a nothing but if I put it on the left hand side, that becomes an L function. This is the inverse of an L function, where character is the chi and then the minus 1 4 k t beta. So that will be the character. So for that Dirichlet series, for that character, this is the Dirichlet series. Okay, so therefore I can bring this to the left hand side. I think I did a mistake here. So this inverse is nothing but a Dirichlet series. Note that product p 1 minus chi of p, p power k minus 1. This I can put on the other side. So minus 1 power k t by p. The character I put it 1, p power k minus 1 minus s. When I put it on the left hand side, this inverse is nothing but the Dirichlet series n equal to 1 to infinity chi of n minus 1 power k t by n, n power k minus 1 minus s. Okay, so therefore this particular factor when I put on the left hand side, I get a Dirichlet series of this type. Therefore I have a product of two Dirichlet series, and then right hand side will be an Euler product. So this implies I have summation n equal to 1 to infinity chi of n minus 1 power k t by n, n power k minus 1 into n power minus s, summation n equal to 1 to infinity af of t n square n power minus s, which is equal to af of t into product of all primes p 1 minus lambda p, p power minus s plus chi of t square, p power 2k minus 1 minus 2s inverse. Okay, so now left hand side becomes product of two Dirichlet series. Therefore I can multiply left hand side and then simplify LHS to get summation n equal to 1 to infinity. So these two arithmetic functions I can use the Dirichlet product, summation d dividing n chi of d minus 1 4 k t by d, d power k minus 1, that is coming from this first one. Second one is af of t n square by d square, and then n power minus s, which is equal to af of t product p 1 minus lambda p, p power minus s plus chi of t square, p power 2k minus 1 minus 2s inverse. Okay. Okay, so this is the relation which we get by considering the Dirichlet series for a given square free t coming out of a Hecke eigenform, and this lambda p's are nothing but f for tp square lambda p. Now in the morning session I just gave an indication that for a Hecke eigenform of integral weight, when I consider the usual Dirichlet series, what will be the Euler product for that one. So now you just recall, I just go back. If you, it will be in the before this Up to this Ramanujan introduction. Yes, here. Okay. So f is a Hecke form. Just look at this. When I take the L function AF of n power minus s, you look at this particular Euler product. So here I use the same lambda p eigenvalue for this function f. Lambda p power minus s. I have the character for the function. F is a Hecke form of level n and character chi at chi of p power k minus weight minus 1 minus 2s. Therefore, the whatever the factor we are getting in this half integral weight Dirichlet series expression, the right hand side becomes exactly the Euler product of a possible modular form of integral weight with eigenvalues lambda p and character. This is fixing that. Okay, this if you look at this one. Yeah, now coming to this part. So 1 minus lambda p power minus n chi of p square. This that is chi of p there. So this is nothing but chi square of p. Therefore, character is chi square. So the right hand side becomes Euler product provided this lambda p coming from a modular form of some level with character chi square of weight 2k. So that is k minus 1 minus 2s. Here k becomes 2k. So what Shimura did is that he used Weyl converse theorem. So there is a Hecke's converse theorem in the level 1. Weyl generalized for any level n whether converse is true or not. Given Euler product, whether it comes from a modular form or not. Okay, whether these eigenvalues determine a modular form from the Euler product. So using that is a very hard part using Weyl's converse theorem. Shimura showed that the RHS Euler product is corresponding to a modular form of weight 2k. That 2k comes from this character chi square, that is chi is the original character we just started, and level he could not determine the level n prime. So n is could not be said from this first initial one, he could not do that, but he conjectured that which is equal to n by 2 conjecture. But somehow the next year Nivai proved that it is in fact the level is n by 2. Therefore proved by yes, therefore it is the result of Shimura, but only part is that level he could not prove it, but he could conjecture that the level should be the original level by 2, and it was proved by Niva. Therefore, we have a correspondence. You start with a form. Start with a form f, and then consider this particular Dirichlet series coming out of that one. Defines an Euler. This is when I consider this as an Euler product corresponding to a modular form, and this gives the Fourier coefficient of the form up to that factor AF of t. Always it comes. Okay. So therefore, whenever AF of t is non-zero, I can talk about it. Therefore, define the above discussion. Gives the following correspondence. So first I define AT of n to be this particular inside one. So define T is starting with square free we started with given f. I can also introduce the f there, but anyway AT of n I call it as summation d dividing n chi of d minus 1 power k t by d d power k minus 1 af of t n square by d square. When I define this AT of n like that, then we have n equal to 1 to infinity. AT of n power minus s is nothing but AF of t into product 1 minus lambda p power minus s plus chi square of p power 2k minus 1 minus 2s inverse. Therefore, this defines a modular form, and these coefficients are given by AT of n. So define This capital F of Z equal to summation n equal to 1 to infinity at of n u power n, then the capital F is a modular form. In fact, one has to take all this in cusp form. So modular form is expression is not done by Shimura. So this is S2k n by 2 chi square. So therefore, starting with your Hecke eigenform of half integral weight of level n and character chi, this association for each t, for each given t, square free t, I can get a function which depends on your square free t, a modular form of weight 2k and level n by 2 and with character chi square. Okay, so this is what the relation says, that the ST we call the Shimura map, which takes this sk plus r n chi to s2k n by 2 chi square. The relation is that f is mapped to summation n equal to 1 to infinity summation d dividing n. This I can call it as at of n instead of 2 power n. Okay, so when I put n equal to 1, the AF of t will come out, because when I take n equal to 1, at of 1 is given by AF of t. So always AF of t will come with this one. When you want to do the normalization, AFT, this function is first coefficient is AF of t. So this is nothing but capital F. So F going to capital F is called the Shimura corresponding. And then this depends on for each square free t. Okay, so what is the time now? 45. So any question in between the steps, I think if you have, so given any f, I can define capital F using this relation. That is mainly due to the considering the Dirichlet series of this type, and then using the Hecke operator, that Fourier coefficient relation, you bring it to the kind of Euler product, and then show that using this the converse theorem, that this is indeed Euler product of a Hecke eigenform of integral weight with the eigenvalues lambda p. Therefore, the eigenvalues match. When it start with the Hecke eigenform with the lambda ip as an eigenvalue, the corresponding modular form, which is integral weight, also has the same eigenvalue. Therefore, this correspondence always commutes with the action of Hecke operators. So this is one, and I think there are some small in between. So when k equal to 1, what happens? Okay, if the weight is 3 by 2, it is not in the usual sense. So any question now up to now? Then I can go to the next one, or because I'm going to talk about this particular Shimura map and the very special property when I put t equal to 1, and then observation of Selberg we will discuss in one of the classes. Very interesting observation without much of the difficult steps. Everything is simple steps one can reuse and then get a very interesting property of the first Shimura map. So that we will discuss in one of the classes. So that you should know what is a Shimura map for a given square free t, but how it comes. This is the method. Okay, now comes to the one remark. So Shimura's theorem is true for k greater than 1. So when k equal to 1, consider q equal to span of subspace of S 3 by 2 n chi spanned by the theta series theta psi of L is that L is any natural number where theta psi L is theta psi is the generalized theta function which is described in the morning. So where theta psi is a summation psi of n power nu e power 2 pi I n square is n equal to 1 to infinity. Okay, this is in fact I think he uses, okay, because I need to be nu, but because of weight 3 by 2, nu should be 1. So I can even cut this one. What is this? I can not cutting. So n into e4. So psi is a odd character. So when you have psi of -1, so therefore the weight is 1 plus 3 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2, there is 3 by 2. So this is the one. So where n equal to 1, psi odd, and then primitive modulo a conductor R. Okay. So now take V to be the orthogonal complement of U in S3 by 2 n chi. So note that 4 L R square, because the level of this one is, since I am duplicating by L comes, this theta psi belongs to R square level, 4 is always there. It should be a divisor of n. Because I am talking about n, you have to run over all integers L with the property. The R is also, one can vary over divisors of L such that R square divides L. So therefore I have to take all the theta series with this extra property that 4 times LR square dividing n, and so that this will span. To take the span of this belonging to this space, to take the orthogonal complement, I call this as V, and chi is psi into minus L by dot. With this all assumptions, then this capital F belonging to S2, because it is 1 plus 1 by 2, the weight is 2k, 2 into 1 is k, so n chi square, if and only if the function f belongs to B. So I cannot take the theta series. I remove all the theta series, the span of theta series from this form, and then the orthogonal complement functions, I can apply the Shimura map and get this one. That's what he says. So more generally, whether question is, he asked the following question: is the space Sk plus R n chi for k greater than or equal to 2 spanned by the theta series. So this is one of the questions asked by that. But when the k put k equal to 0, that is weight half, Serre and Stark showed in fact that for weight half it is true. So m half n chi is spanned by the theta series. Theta psi of t is at where t is in, and psi is primitive even character. Modulo with the same condition. So same 4L R square dividing n. This the odd character is not there, so it should be even character because the weight is half. So this is what this is Serre and Stark, and this appeared in one of the modular forms, that volume, no, one of the volume 6 or something, it appeared. It's a long paper, so where they describe this step. Okay, so now the next one, maybe I'll give what is the definition of the Shimura lift for the purpose, because so many things, confusion is there. We just mentioned that F belongs to Sk plus half n chi F bar Tp square is lambda Pf for all t. Then for t square free integer t positive F bar St of z, which is equal to this. I can also write it Ftf of z equal to summation n equal to 1 to infinity summation d dividing n chi of d minus 1 power kt by d power k minus 1 af of t n square by d square q power n. This belongs to S2k n by 2 chi square. Okay, this is the teeth Shimura map. So in one of the classes we'll discuss a special property of the Shimura 1 map t equal to 1 on a class of forms. Very interesting that easy, the proof is not at all difficult. So just one has to play around with this multiplicative relation among the Fourier coefficients and then use that one and then observe that the first particular map gives rise to exactly the image in terms of a given function. So the class of functions we consider is f is a K-eigenform on SL2Z. Later on it was generalized by others. I will also tell about that. Again from SL2Z, and then you consider this capital F. Don't confuse with this capital F. This F of 4z into theta, classical theta function. This belongs to mk plus r level 4. Then when I apply the one map on F, this is nothing but f square of z minus 2 power k minus 1 f square of 2. This is what Selberg observed. Okay, this is not published, but he mentioned in one of the communication or somewhere. So this is what he observed, that when I take the function f K-eigenform using only the Fourier coefficient multiplicative property of f, and then this, because of theta function coefficient also the n square coefficient only there, the square coefficient only survive. Therefore, the product, the Fourier coefficient has a special property, use of that one to get the image in terms of the square of the given function. So this is weight k, this f square has weight 2k. This belongs to s2k 2 chi square. There is no chi here, so there is s2k 2. So it is a level 2 form, f square is level 1 and f square of 2 is 2. So this we will discuss another generalization in subsequent class. Okay, so any questions?